Today, I want to tell you a story about two young ladies who had a dream to build their parents a home. They searched high and low to find a company that could deliver a high quality product, but also work with them hand in hand at a pace that suited their needs. This task seemed Herculean, but the stars aligned and they discovered fine urban real estate construction and interiors. The company that I work for actually push that for anyone else who might be out there who wants to renovate their parents' property or even build a new house for them. It is the perfect opportunity. Just call us and we'll be there and we'll do the perfect work for you. I am here in rural Curicho. I'm going to show you how we're making their dreams come true and how this could be the start of your journey to your happily ever after. So let's begin the tour right here at the entrance. We have pillars that just add regality to our project. It's such a great introduction into giving a glimpse of what to expect and what excitement lays beyond these doors. So we have kept them stark white for now, but this is an ongoing project. So you guys need to keep an eye out because with fine urban, things are always transforming. But we have this gray color here that contrasts great and gives a softness to the exterior of the house. You will see this also mimicked inside the house, because one of the things that we are doing is ensuring that the house evokes a sense of a feeling just as you walk in and the colors that you get to experience. So that, of course, starts from the outside. And even just looking at the entire facade of the house, you can see that we're using one-way glass, meaning that when you're outside, you're not fully seeing what's happening on the inside. And you'll see how it is so clear from the inside to see what's going on the outside. And speaking of great entrances, we've also tiled the entrance here with a material that is going to take really well to the natural environment and also is going to be very, very easy to clean for our client once they move in. And going back to these windows, we have continued to mimic the simple clean molding that you see on the pillars all around the windows. Again, just playing up that regality and giving this house so much character even before you get to walk in. So let us walk through this door. Immediately, I noticed that we have fabricated a door here that adds that softness. Again, there's just an element of curved edges when you're playing with farmhouses. You need to really think about what a farmhouse is and what it's supposed to represent. So you need to add elements of softness. So this rounded edge, this arched doorway is just the perfect way to have this done. And as always, the materials are handpicked by Fine Urban Real Estate Construction and Interiors to ensure that the quality is consistent throughout the entire project. So when you walk into the house, you'll notice that the tile from the outside follows you. The texture, the color is just perfect and it makes such a seamless transition. These tiles were handpicked by our lead designer because they fit the space best in terms of color and texture and just evoking that sense of like a farmhouse feel without being too stark. We love a marble tile, but you have to understand that when you're working with different projects, they have a different essence. So you need to go into the market and look for the best tile that's going to fit the environment that you're actually working in. There is still a sense of high-end luxury in this house, but it doesn't feel like that house feels out of place in the environment that surrounds it. So here, not only do we have beautiful tiling on the floor, we also have another great color here on the wall. It's a really muted tone of gray, but you can imagine how the space would be if it was stark white. It would actually I feel like it would hurt my eyes. But if you look up towards the gypsum, you can see that the gypsum is stark white, so you get to have a very clear contrast between the walls and the ceiling. And speaking of gypsum, these designs are chef's kiss. One of the facets of farmhouses is simplicity. So we really nailed it when it came to that, and also creating an illusion of a higher ceiling by having that step detail that kind of leads you to the center area where it kind of feels like, okay, the ceiling is a bit higher. I think that is a very great element of like clever design. Of course, we're going to have a centerpiece, but even in the gypsum, you can see that we have recessed lighting all around that will illuminate each and every corner of this living room. Of course, we've left out spaces for where the curtains are going to be, and you can see we have plenty of windows here. There was a lot of structural work, actually. If you haven't seen any of our previous videos on this project, just understand that as I'm walking through and I'm talking about things, there's a lot of structural work that had to be done in order for this house to be where it is. So even as I'm talking about the dimensions of the windows, those are things that we really did truly adjust to ensure that each room is getting plenty of lighting. So that's why you can see here I am gloriously bathing in light, because we have plenty of openings letting in plenty of natural light. So we're also gonna have a fireplace over there. You can see that our electricians have already been in here, so we have our sockets and switches all in place, ready to go. Now, another feature of this living room is this display shelf. It's such a great opportunity and placement, because as soon as you walk in through the door, this is what's going to catch your eye, and this would be such a great place to kind of display the pictures of your family, or just trinkets that really represent you and your loved ones, and it just adds to that element of feeling at home and feeling welcome. And of course, we have given space for our clients to also have a more private storage area here for things that you don't necessarily want, maybe magazines or just extra bits and bobs that you don't necessarily always want to be displayed. Now, moving on, we are going to go through this huge opening into the dining room. So this is an open concept house, which we had to actually make it that way. Guys, I'll tell you this. Don't incur extra costs by starting work with someone who doesn't really have a great understanding of what the final product will look like. Work with a designer, an interior designer from the word go, because even when we are drawing out your plans and we're thinking of the layout of your house, we're thinking how the end product, once your furniture is in, once you're moving in, what that's going to look like. So for this project, we did have to break down some walls and shift some windows and openings and things like that, and create larger openings. That is an extra cost when you think of materials and labor. So pick up the phone, give us a call, let us work with you, because we do construct houses from the ground up. I often get that question. Yes, guys, we construct. Give us your piece of land and we're able to build you a house from scratch from 6 months to a year, depending on what pace you want to work with. So we're now in the dining room, very open plan into the kitchen. We have these customized cabinetry. I always say they're great for display, because I found that people are taking point of pride, especially in homes like this, to decorate their tables and have their loved ones in. So it would be such a great place to store all your cutlery and crockery that you have for special occasions. But the thing I love the most about this is the design details. Everything is so exquisite. I always say Fine Urban gives you a crafted space, meaning you're getting these unique details that are going to only be in your house. So you can see here we have these big openings here. We have drawers, and then we have the cabinets at the bottom. Now the space is nice and open for a client to bring in the table that they desire, and of course we're going to have a sink over there. Now looking on up, we have kind of imitated what you see in the living room here in the dining room, because it's such a perfect design and it works for both spaces, whether it's as big as the living room or it works for a smaller space like this dining room. So we just continued with that. You still get the same effect. We still have the same lighting details, so meaning of course, this dining room is going to be well lit at all angles. And during the day, you still have plenty of natural lighting, because we do have those large windows over there pouring light in. Moving on forward, we are greeted by what I would call the breakfast bar, but it's also an island that functions for the kitchen. We have a couple of stools here, so this will also just be a great place to have a light snack or have a quick breakfast, or if you feel like sitting here and having and doing your homework, it's just a great place that is multi-functional. And now we're getting into the kitchen officially. This is when you're working with a designer, they're thinking, especially in spaces like this, how do you live your day-to-day life? Like, what do you need your kitchen to do for you? So when we're designing things like cabinetry or choosing countertops or choosing how we're doing the layout, those are the things that we're really thinking about to make it as convenient and as easy for you to transition into your new home and still feel like you've lived in this house forever, because everything is just going to be super easy because the space has been designed to your exact specifications. So speaking of countertops as well, we love things that are durable, things that are high quality, especially in a space like a kitchen. So here we have some beautiful white quartz countertops, and we have this detail that I really love that makes every counter every island actually feel luxurious, and it's that waterfall feature where we have the continuation all the way to the side and all the way down. Now getting into the kitchen, of course, it's the cabinetry, it's the layout. So whatever you see here, this is to the client's specifications, but of course the materials, as always, are handpicked by Fine Urban, which we always emphasize maximizing on counter space so you can have multiple people work in here and it never feels like you're trying to balance a lot of things at once. And of course, maximizing on that storage. Spaces like this where we have a huge gap, that's because when we're customizing your kitchen, of course, we're thinking of the appliances that you're going to want. Now you can get a glimpse of kind of the color contrast that we're going to be playing with. We have a double basin sink here. It's in the brushed gold feel, which is really ultra luxe. And then we have it in front of this huge window, great views, plenty of natural lighting, which is another very important facet about any kitchen. As for the gypsum design, kept it very flat, very simple. It did not need a lot of fuss. The thing that is important is ensuring that every corner is getting plenty of lighting. Now we do have an extension of this kitchen, which is the pantry. It is a farmhouse. It's very important to have somewhere that you can have bulk storage. So this would be it. You can see that we are breaking up the white with this wonderful wood feel cabinetry over here. I just love that finish. It just feels really true to the environment that we're currently in right now. But we also have the continuation of this gorgeous countertops in here. Again, we're just playing around with the lower level. We have the upper level, and then we have this storage right over here, where it's like a more shelving detail. So you can see how dynamic we design our storage just to make sure that our client never lacks for any space or any of the goods that they might want to bulk store. So we have another entrance and exit point to this kitchen. I just love the flow of the house, the fact that you have multiple entrance areas and it's really easy to navigate. Now where I'm standing, again, we can look directly into the living room because we have this huge opening. So if you're coming in and just directly want to come into the bedrooms, you can easily transition. If you want to go to the kitchen and you have something you need to do in the bedrooms, again, it's just an easy flow. We have plenty of light penetrating from the living room all the way into this area as well. I love how the gypsum design has completely transformed here. I love the use of cornice and of course those recessed lights. I just love this design and how we've really played around with the colors, kind of just emphasize the different design elements in there. So we're about to go into the common bathroom. We have our fittings here, but we're just putting them in situ right now to kind of just before we start plugging everything in. So we have the sink right here, and then we have the continuation of the warmth of the tile on the floor and the wall. We have our toilet bowl, we have our showers here. I just love how seamless we install these. Like it's just like none the wiser about all that piping, but it just looks really seamless. The finishes are actually quite excellent. Of course, this is where we have our shower. We have the texture on the wall. The tiling is exquisite, and we have a nice tall window here pouring in natural light. So let's go across where we have our first bedroom. Now I want you guys to also take a look at the doors. We also did a very simple design on the doors just to stay true to the rest of the design of the house. So welcome to bedroom number 1, and immediately I am just drawn to this huge window with the light. It is so perfect, the dimensions of these windows. As I always say, like, it's so important, just think about it. Like, you never want to live in a house that feels dark, especially when it comes to your bedroom. So I just love that element. But now looking at the bedroom, the tile on the floor has completely transformed. We have a tile here that has this raw wood feel, that texture, those patterns, the grain. It just really screams farmhouse without feeling gaudy. We also have a really soft color on the wall. Remember the psychology of colors and how, especially in bedrooms, you want things that will help your mind go at ease, so you can see the color selection is the same. Now we have dragged this pattern along onto the wardrobes as well. We've seen this just in the kitchen, and I'm so happy to see that we have continued it in the bedrooms. It is exquisite. I love this color. It just adds so much character. Apart from the beauty of this storage spaces is the amount of storage that we have. So this is why at Fine Urban we really do like to customize these, because we can talk to the client and understand what they need, and then we can build that out considering the rest of the space of the bedroom. Now looking on up, we have this horseshoe design for the gypsum, and I just really love the way it's actually it falls in such a place that it's actually going to frame where the bed is going to be. Of course, we're going to have a beautiful centerpiece, and we have those recessed lights all around. So this room is an ensuite. So let's take a look at what this looks like. Just as I suspected, we're continuing with those warm tones. We have our fittings in situ, and we're creating more character by having slightly different colors and textures for the tiles on the walls and on the floor, but still retaining that harmony as we walk from room to room. So let us head back out into the hallway. We still have a bit more of the house to see. We should be heading upstairs into the second floor. So now we're back here, and we have this area under the stairs, which sometimes goes to waste. We find that when we're working with our clients, they always feel stuck and never know what to do with this space, and they feel like it's just a huge gap. But when you're working with Fine Urban, we give you so many options on what's possible. At the moment, we were using it as storage for some sculptures. If you want to find out exactly where we intend to place those sculptures and what role they'll play in this property, you know what to do. Subscribe, and then once you come back, I will be able to tell you in detail exactly what we intend to do. But this space will function as like a storage area. We can see we have plenty of lighting also in that space, so you'll see once we're wrapping up this project. Let's head to the first floor. We've done all the works in terms of making sure the stairs are nice and stable and steady and at the appropriate height. We have the custom hand railing following us all the way up. We always have to take a moment to admire the hard work that has gone into fabricating these just to fit in with the theme of the rest of the house. And of course, at the staircase, I always emphasize on the point that lighting is very important, especially when you have narrower staircases like these ones. So we have that huge corner window right over there. The framing has been done in such a way that you still get a sense of privacy, but you get tons of lighting coming in through this one-way glass. So even if someone's outside, you still get a sense of privacy here. And of course, the color selection is very light, very soft to help bounce that light around, emphasizing that element of having a brighter staircase. Now we do have some pretty high ceilings, so as you're walking up the stairs, you're going to want something that's going to be very captivating once you get to the top, and that's why we always make sure to have a lighting fixture and also have a gypsum design that is striking. Even now you can see how stellar this gypsum design is, and of course we have the inclusion of the recessed lights just to finish off and highlight the beautiful work that has been done on that gypsum. Now that we are on the landing area, we're continuing on with the theme of having simple warm tiles in the general areas. Let's take a look at the bedrooms on this floor. So we're going to go into bedroom number 1. The tiles have changed. We have that wooden feel that's continuing on to the cabinetry. You can see how harmonious the cabinetry up here is downstairs, because we're kind of working with the same dimensions for bedrooms. So we just wanted to ensure that we're maximizing on that storage. And when you look up, we're all about those clean finishes, just focusing on doing excellent work and just amplifying the ceiling by adding the simple detail like having the cornice kind of finish off the inside of that gypsum design. Of course, we're going to be having lighting fixtures in the center that kind of more representative of the personality of this room. And another great view out this window. Now heading into the bathroom, on these areas I like to emphasize, of course, on the quality of the fittings that we have. You can see we're already bringing them in, we're putting them in place. We have our shower head, we have our sink, and we have our toilet bowl just in situ. We're gonna connect the plumbing and everything, but the most important thing at this moment is really to look at the tiling. You have to consider those colors, those textures. They need to make sense in terms of the size of the bathroom, but also the environment in which it's in. So for the floor, first we've gone with something that feels a bit more grittier, and for the walls we've gone for those soft colors as well, just to retain a sense of lightness in that space. Now going on into the other bedroom across here, we have a more dynamic gypsum design, but as always, it is Tella. We have the color on the wall, which is like a soft gray color, which is very, very calming. We have the continuation of the wooden tile on the floor, and of course, the customized cabinetry, just ensuring everyone has plenty of storage. Looking into the bathroom again, we're continuing with those warm tones. I can see here on the wall, we have a glossy finish. It has like a brownie tone to it, so of course, it definitely fits in with the farmhouse feel, and it also brightens up the space. We have the fittings in here, as I mentioned, in the other bathroom. Everything is in situ, ready to go, so it's just a matter of plugging everything in. Guys, we're almost completely done with this project, so make sure you're subscribed, because next time I come, it's gonna be borderline unrecognizable. If you've been watching us long enough, you know how quickly things transform when I'm touring these properties. Now, this bedroom also does have a balcony, and we've just talked about views, and this is one of the best ways to experience. So we're going through this arched door here. I really love the softness that adds, and it really just plays into that element of farmhouse feel. I also love that it allows a lot of light to come in. But now we have stepped outside. We're continuing with the nice warm tiles here. And of course, I have to point out that the exterior of the house also does have this we did fabricate this design for the handrails, just for that safety element. So whoever is using that room does get to have the pleasure of standing out here and taking on this incredible views. Just look out at the greenery of the tea farms. I can see we have a couple of people working. We have plenty of trees. It's such a beautiful sunny day today. So this is one of those super exquisite views that we're so glad we got to get our hands on and ensure that the people living in this house actually have an access to a space that allows them to come outside and really drink this all in. The serenity is unbeatable. So let's go back inside onto the next room, which is a very special room and was a particular request that the client had. Of course, we're going to continue following the gypsum design. We've kept it very linear, very simple, almost guiding you down the hallway, like to ensure that every corner is bright. This is the room I was just talking about. Of course, we've continued with that soft color on the wall. Everything is supposed to kind of set your mind at ease, and colors are one of those things that really do that. We have a very interesting design here, which always makes me so happy. I love how, as a company, as much as we love our classy interiors, we love our high-end, our luxury, we also have a way of combining that with a playfulness that just brings joy. Sometimes not every room needs to be that serious, and especially a room like this. This is going to be a prayer room. So of course you want, as your client to walk in, to have that sense of joy and have that sense of peace and serenity when they're coming here to bond with their higher power. So this would be a very, very crucial room to get right. So I really enjoy the fact that this room also does have great views through this window. We're getting one side of the house, and then we have these two windows that are getting the back of the house, where you get to see more of those tea leaves and trees and greenery. Again, another room that would be very, very important to make sure that there is a sense of serenity. We are now going to go into the master bedroom. We have the continuation of that tile. I find that some of our projects, we do tend to continue on with the same kind of ideas from room to room, just because it really does work, and it does create a sense of harmony as you're moving through the house. And it becomes really, really clear when you're transitioning from one space to another. It's so easy to identify simply by how the colors change and the textures change. So I just love seeing how that is well represented throughout this entire house. So you can see we have this entire tile all the way through the entire bedroom. We have the continuation of that feel of wood, which is just a great injection. And then we have this design here that is quite common to see in like farmhouse designs, but the way Fine Urban likes to do it, to almost take it into modern times, is to use gypsum instead of having the wooden planks up there instead. So you're still getting the essence of that farmhouse feel, but it's done in a very classy and a clean way, and it's really brought into the modern time, which also allows us to have the installations of those recessed lights, ensuring that every corner of this bedroom is going to be well lit. As always, we are going to have a centerpiece. We're actually in the process of just picking out the perfect centerpieces for this entire house. So that's why, as I'm walking through, I'm able to point out the recessed lights, but when you look at the centerpieces, they're missing. It's because we're in the process of actually making sure we're selecting the perfect ones. Now, this bedroom also does have a number of windows allowing light to come through from all angles. And as I said, the glass is one-way glass, so you're retaining privacy from all angles of the house. And now let's take a look at the balcony in this room as well. We have another arched doorway here, and I'm stepping outside, and now we're looking at the front of the house. The entrance is right below us, and you can see the pillar continuation like we actually saw on the other balcony as well, because we like continuing those details just to have that symmetry and harmony throughout the entire house. I love how simple we've kept things, because you have to have a great balance when you're doing anything to do with the facade of the house at all angles, because we have a very intricate and beautiful design for the handrails. It allowed us to go for a simpler design when it came to the molding, but we still made sure to create something that did have a textural effect. So that's why you can see on the pillars at the top and the bottom, we've really taken the time to smooth out those lines and make sure they were absolutely perfect. But while I'm standing here again, it's just a great vantage point to look beyond, enjoy the peaceful sounds of the birds, true sense of serenity. You're going to hear the wind rustling through the trees, you're going to hear the birds, you're going to see the sunlight, you're going to have big open skies. And I'll always emphasize that, because it's one of those feelings that never goes out of style. No matter how many times I hear birds chirping, it'll always feel like I want to stay here and just fully enjoy this for the rest of the day. And to think that our clients are also going to be enjoying this is absolutely a fantastic feeling. But we were not done with the inside quite yet. We still have to see the walk-in closet and the master bathroom. So that is right behind this door, where we have the walk-in closet. So we have the walk-in closet here. We have plenty of space. We're going to have a beautiful centerpiece here. But of course, we had to ensure that the two people that will be using this room have plenty of room where they're not kind of fighting for that storage and who's going to get what space. And then beyond that, we have yet another door leading you into the master bathroom. I love how the tile here has transformed, and it feels a bit bolder, a bit darker on the floor. But when you look up at the walls, we're still retaining those lighter colors, just to emphasize on that sense of calm that you'll feel, and also just bounce as much light as possible off those walls. And as always, we've ensured that the bathroom windows are nice and tall to allow as much light to come in as possible. And you can see the fittings are in situ and ready to go. This house is almost completely done, and I am excited to see what the end product is actually going to look like. Now we can head outside and take a look at what's happening beyond the walls of this beautiful structure. We're going to go through the kitchen and start with the back of the house. What a glorious day. The sun is shining. It feels so good. It feels so good to just stand here and low-key sunbathe. But let's get back to work. So back here, of course, we like creating an extension of the kitchen, because we always say when you're cooking and you're kind of waiting for that next step or waiting for something to get ready, and you don't necessarily want to go into the living room, you don't want to be too far away from the kitchen, because we all know sometimes you go into the living room and you get into a really interesting TV show and you smell something burning. So this is a great area to relax as you're close to the kitchen. So the ladies would be out here having a cup of tea, having a bit of a gossip. But even when you're not cooking, it's just a great place to come out and sunbathe like I am right now. But of course, we have these pillars continuing. We like creating a 360 experience. And you can see that the molding, even back here, has continued all around the windows. And that gray color has also followed us. Now we're looking back here, and if you guys know anything about us, is when we see greenery, we add greenery. We're all about the Going Green initiative, so we add as much nature and as much greenery as possible to every project that we touch. So anywhere that you see does not have like trees there, or it doesn't have like cabro there, just know that we're intending to design the landscape in a way that really emphasizes on adding that greenery. So we have another slab here. Can take a look. And it just looks like an ordinary slab, but I know fans of the channel who have been here for a long time will know that when it comes to a fine urban project, if you see a slab like this, you know that there is something underneath it. And you would be right, this is where we have our underground water tank. So of course we want to create an outdoor experience here to kind of conceal this and also make it like a dual functional space. So not only will we have the underground water tank, but we'll also be building like a relaxation outdoor area here as well. So now we're gonna head out and check the DSQ, which is a structure that actually did not exist, and we had to build it out. So let's go and take a look at what's in that structure. We want to ensure that every single penny that you hand over to us is put to good use. And that's why you'll see that all the elements we've seen in the main house have naturally transitioned into the DSQ. So you can see how by adding this one structure, we have so many different rooms, and now this house has reached its true potential in terms of functionality. This has been a very special tour because one of my main focuses was, first of all, to just appreciate what these two young ladies have been able to accomplish for their parents, and also just get a deeper understanding of what we want to do with the Jengea Wazazi Initiative. By talking to our lead designer about this project especially, he was able to explain to me, as I said in the beginning, the importance of having companies that can work hand in hand with people to bring their dreams into fruition. You never want someone to feel like they have to put their dreams on pause because they don't have the entire chunk of the amount they need to build their parents' home, therefore delaying this vision for years and years. I hope that this tour has been as much of an inspiration to you as it has been to me. It's all about finding the right company that you can trust, that cares, that is patient, that works with you hand in hand, and has integrity. This could be your story. You could contact us today and you're guaranteed, no matter what your budget is, no matter where you are right now with your finances, we're gonna work with you. We're gonna talk to you. It might take longer than other projects, but remember, at the end of the day, it's about ensuring that you're getting all your needs fulfilled and making sure that you're getting the highest quality possible.